and see. The music is empty. It pleases me. Come and see. It makes me feel good. Makes me feel better or worse. Better or worse than before. It's empty. It pleases me. Come and see. The music is empty. It pleases me. Come and see. The music is the perfect background for me. And transparency. I love film music. I think it's good for me. I'm in the Turkish mountains, taking a bath in a hot spring. In my head the bell rings. We have to stop for lunch. I'm empty. It pleases me. Come and see. The music is empty. It pleases me. Come and see. On some faraway beach. Each time I start this film, I miss it every week. The orchestra sound the strings. In my head the bell rings. We have to stop for lunch. I'm empty. It pleases me. Come and see. The music is empty. It pleases me. Come and see.
Hold on, I'm trying to get my camera to work.
We don't have a dog.
total disorder, and he would be barking like that for the rest of his life. Our insurance doesn't cover it. The devil lives in my husband's body. Our friends can't come over anymore. Oh, God.
Hello. What's up, y'all?
Let's make sure our krang's on tight.
Can you hear us?
Is my krang on tight?
Please tell us if you can hear us. If you can.
I wonder if it would be nice to have some like background music.
Oh yeah.
Because it feels a little lonely.
Just something quiet in the background.
Yeah. Let's see.
My husband
Turn it
died
down.
in my husband's body.
My husband died. Let's see. Yeah. A little background krang. Can you hear us talking all right?
Alright, can you hear us? If you can hear us, raise your hand.
All right. They say they can hear us.
Alright, Christina. First things first. Let's talk about my roller skating accident.
Well, let's show everyone your bandages. Look
and
at
my
that.
scratch. And I got a little band-aid on
And
this side. It was much worse 2 days ago. So here's what happened. Christina's been... Well, you want to tell the story?
Well, I've become like completely obsessed with roller skating. Despite the fact that I don't have any roller skates at the moment.
She's as
And-
obsessed you can get with roller skating without...
I think
Having
about
any roller
it at
skates.
night when I'm falling asleep because it relaxes me. Just the idea of roller skating. It brings me so much peace and happiness.
So maybe you don't actually need the roller skates. You can just bliss out
No,
on
I
the
want
concept.
the roller skates. So I ordered Kevin and I a matching pair of like the cheapest roller skates.
Which
I
is
could
so
find.
weird because they seem so much more advanced than the roller skates of my childhood.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they've come a long way.
Yeah, I guess so.
Since then.
But I mean, they weren't like $10 skates, right? Weren't they like $80 or something?
They were like $100.
Yeah, so they're not like super cheap.
No, they're not crappy at all.
Yeah.
They're just, it's really hard to find roller skates right now because there's a lot of people like me.
Yeah.
Anyway, of course, mine get delayed even though I ordered them at the same time, pretty much. Kevin's get here right on time.
That's how I flow.
They arrive. They arrive at like 8 o'clock at night, and when we're done eating dinner, I bust them out, and I'm like, Kevin, you got to try them on. Kevin puts them on, and it's like he's flying for the first time. He's so excited. I don't think you even really knew how excited he would be.
I was Icarus. The Icarus of roller skating.
So he puts the roller skates on and just starts like flying around the house on the roller skates. And I'm like, I mean, he can like stand up on them. I'm nervous because I feel like I'm not going to take to it supernaturally, but
You'll take to it supernaturally.
anyway, so another aspect of this is that for a week I've been like, do you have any pads? Do you have like protective gear? You have to wear protective gear if you're going to be skating outside. And you're like, no, I don't want to wear pads. I don't want to wear protective gear.
No, too cool. I was too cool for that.
So you're like, I want to you have the skates on. You're like running around the house. I try to like teach you the way to stop that I saw on a YouTube video.
Mhm.
You kind of like try it once and it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I want to go outside.
I swear it's just COVID craziness, you know? It's like, I'm going to go roller skating and it's going to free me from the pain. Instead, it brought more pain.
It brought a lot of pain. But all of this happened in the span of literally like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Is you putting the skates on, you running out the door, running
With the skates.
with the skates on. And I'm like, wait, just wait for me, like, to get my shoes on so I could come help you and hold you up. And you're like running. Somehow you ran up the hill.
No, the hill.
Of the driveway.
That was the moment when I was like, oh, actually, I think I might die doing this. Because the hill, I was like falling, almost falling constantly. And like I had to like do like a crab claw to even like get up the hill. But then I should have.
That doesn't explain why you
No.
didn't stop.
No, I was just a man possessed. And all the while, our dog is like jumping at me because it's like having so much fun. She's having so much fun. Like,
She's running after us.
playtime.
She's running after Kevin. I'm running after Kevin in my flip flops, trying like screaming at him.
I'm like those little
Please
babies.
stop! You don't know how to stop. Kevin starts rolling down our street. He does not know how to stop.
No, I realized like as I'm moving that I don't know how to stop. And I was trying to kind of do the thing you taught me, but it's not working. And then this is like 1 a.m. or something, right? It was like really late. But then there's a car coming. So I see headlights coming down the street and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh my
a
God.
car starts coming towards Kevin. Kevin is careening down this hill.
Trophy,
it
our dog
makes-
is barking and
It
going
makes
crazy.
no sense that you are upright for the whole time that you're careening down the hill. Like
That's the
it
thing
looks
about
like it's like one of those cartoons where the feet are like the snow. That's what it looked like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was like in the process of falling the whole time, but I never fell until the bitter end.
Yeah.
So it's just like this, and you screaming like, fall, fall, and like Trophy going like, rah, 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 jumping on me, and then this car coming, and I was like, in my head, I was like, I should fall. No, maybe I don't have to fall. I mean, I haven't fallen yet, but I should probably fall. But maybe I don't have to. Maybe
Meanwhile,
I
you're
can.
basically heading like towards a
Yeah.
cliff.
A decision has to be made, and so then I was just
Anyway.
like,
Yeah, he finally bails.
but then the dumbest thing is like, there is grass really close to where I fell, but it never occurred to me to just fall into the grass. The only thing I thought about was,
Yeah.
oh, I should fall on the hardest possible
Yeah.
surface.
Well, it happened so fast.
Yeah, and I think the problem is because we were watching that funny YouTube clip or the video of the old man, that 90-year-old man teaching old people
Falling.
how to fall.
Uh-huh.
And then that was the karma for me. I had to
Oh,
like,
because we were laughing.
we were laughing, yeah. And that's what you get for laughing at old people who fall.
Well, we weren't laughing at him.
No, it's more just like the way the whole thing was presented was funny. But
Yeah.
it was unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
And then me falling was also very unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
But
Pause the music.
anyways, so scratched the crap out of my hands. I can't play guitar. Can barely do anything with this hand. But it's getting better every day, and eventually I'll be able to do all the houseboy work.
I've been doing all the houseboy work.
Yeah, Christina's
Almost.
been a really good houseboy.
I've been wrapping your sweet bandages.
Yeah. But the bandage thing, I'm a very compulsive hand washer, so
Yeah.
the bandage situation is very bad for me because it gets
It's not
soggy
ideal at all.
and it's gross feeling, and I'm just like, I don't like it.
So don't you wish that you had listened to your
That's the moral of the story.
girlfriend who only ever wanted for you to be happy and safe?
It's true. Next time, I'm definitely going to wear the paddage.
The wrist guards.
Yeah.
You could have
wrist guards.
broken your sweet bass playing fingers.
Yeah, totally. Could have broken a lot.
Yeah.
So I can't complain. Shouldn't
Yeah.
complain.
Could have been worse.
As long as I don't get some bad bacterial infection.
Oof. Yeah. Keep it clean.
Keep it clean. Keep it strong.
Keeping it strong.
Oh yeah, so the roller skating, or should we play some more music and then get back to the roller
Yeah, let's
skating
play
talk?
another song.
All right, we're gonna play some more music. This has nothing to do with roller skating.
Let's see. What do we want to listen to?
Christina made
I
a
wanna
sick
play-
playlist.
Okay, our friend Jazz is coming on today to talk about her amazing music. So I'm going to play some Old Maybe.
That's the name of her band.
That is the name of one of her bands.
It's your life. Don't make cry. It's your life. Ugly, love me, never love me. You will make me cry. Ugly, love me, don't love me. Don't make me cry.
Okay, we're in the Zoom. We're gonna make the audio work. Okay, wait. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yay! Hey, Jess.
Where are you?
We're in
don't-
Kevin's studio.
No, I can't see you.
Oh, really? Wait, let me see. Oh, shit.
I'm seeing a million faces, watching them react to my music. And then here you guys are, but I don't see you.
Wait, go up to the top.
Wow,
and see
this
if
is a
Let's
phenomenon.
see.
Crying is working.
Can anyone else see us? Yeah.
No one. We're all in this together. We all became really close in these last 30 seconds.
Really? Did you have bonding?
Yeah, I left the video for a while because I was shy. And then I said, don't be shy. And I came back.
It's because on the YouTube thing we are, but
Yeah, that's coming from the computer.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know why you can't see us, but
we're here. We promise.
yeah,
Hey,
we're gonna just
cool. I guess I'll see you eventually in the.
yeah, we're gonna live in the moment and not sweat it, just so we can talk to you.
Cool. Sounds good.
So, what's going on? How are you dealing with quarantine and life in that room?
Well, I just moved
Ah.
a week ago now. So it's like the first time I've been anywhere different than my last room since March.
Does that feel good or bad?
It doesn't solve any of my problems emotionally, which is dark. And that's kind of where I'm at with that. I'm just like, this is great, but also like, why am I still miserable every day? But, just because, the phone, that's the only reason why,
The phone is the reason you're
the
miserable?
phone. Yeah, it's like news update after
Ugh,
news
I know.
update. And,
I feel the same
it's-
way. And now I have this problem where, like, now that I use Twitter, that's like a new way that I torture myself.
Oh my God, actually same. I'm very new to Twitter and I thought it was better, but it's actually worse.
It is worse. And the worst is when you tweet yourself. I
What
find.
do you mean?
Like, I hate the feeling of tweeting. And then I have to, like, deal with the feeling of knowing that people know how I feel about something. I hate
Oh,
it.
no, I was, what's weird? I was actually just having that thought the other day. I was like,
Really?
wow, there's a lot of evidence, public evidence of who I am that I don't need.
Yeah.
Damn, this is trippy because I'm literally looking at a million people
I'm sad.
and not
that-
you
yeah.
guys.
I don't know how
But
to
it's
fix
okay.
it.
We're gonna make it work.
There's always some weird glitch whenever we try to do this.
Yeah.
We'll probably
happens.
figure it out like 10 minutes before we're
We actually
ending.
spent like 2 days ago. We were working through the night trying to get all the bugs worked out,
Yeah.
and so we figured out actually what the problem was with the audio in Zoom.
Yeah.
But
We
then the
spent many
video now
hours.
it's like a new thing.
Oh, wait. So.
Well, I can feel that you guys can see me. I feel that, and I feel that energy from you.
Good.
So that's good.
We've been listening to Piggity Pink all day in preparation for this hang.
Dude,
I
I-
love that album so much.
I mean, the way you talked about Twitter is how I feel about that album.
So that's
Just
like,
oh God.
I wonder about that with you, or just like with every artist who I really admire, that like it's so scary to release music, I feel like. And
I don't feel that way in the moment. I feel that way like 2 months later. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
yeah, like once it's released.
Yeah, it's just like, wow, like every time I write an album, it has cringier and more specific lyrics that like
I
call
know.
people out directly.
I feel that way too.
I have an album coming out that you are going to just laugh.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
can't
lot.
wait. When is
There's
it
a lot
coming
going
out?
on. Sometime this summer. It's like an EP, but it's very
Nice.
like, I'm not coding anything.
That's like so scary, but it's also like, I don't know, people connect with that.
It's liberating for
Yeah.
sure.
Totally. Is this like a self-released EP or?
So I made an album with some friends in LA over email, and we started just a little bit before the quarantine, and now we're kind of wrapping it up. And it's been slow because, the coronavirus, I think, has caused unique challenges to us all, but we're all really separate. I'm separate from them. I'm on the East Coast, they're on the West Coast, but we're putting the finishing touches on, and I think it should be out by the end of the summer. But I'm really excited about it. Look, I did a thing where I like I put it out there to some people, like, just so you know, this is like about you, and they're like, oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I felt like that would be better than being like,
I
surprise.
think so. I made that mistake once where like I didn't warn somebody and they really did not like it. I feel like
Well, in my head, I think they won't listen to it.
Oh, you mean like why warn them if they're just never gonna listen to it?
Yeah, but then I forget, like, wait, people look at the internet.
Don't you feel okay? I don't know if you get this, but I feel like so many people just like hate listen or like hate watch or hate pay attention to the things I do.
Oh no, I feel the same way about. Yeah, I feel the same. I was actually. You just keep saying that. I was actually like walking yesterday, and I was like, I wonder who I respect is listening to my music and going, this sounds kind of like my band. I don't really like it.
Oh yeah, you said that when we talked on the phone like a few months ago that like people don't like music that sounds like
what they make.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that. And I think it's kind of true.
Yeah,
like
I think it's just an
home.
automatic judgment moment. If you're like self-critical, you may dole that out, when you hear someone else doing what you do. It's like, totally. It's a weird ego situation.
Well, it's like your music on like Piggity Pink is so easy for me to access because it's so beyond anything that I could ever do.
Totally. I mean, I love that, and I want to keep, like, honestly, like, I feel the same because people don't know that I listen to like 99% indie music. So, it's whatever. Like, I feel the same where like I'll put it on, I'll be like, this is a little intense. Like, okay.
I love it.
Like,
so
this
much.
is,
and like,
I really appreciate that.
Kevin asked me today if you went to music school, and what is the answer to that? For some reason I thought that you didn't, but
I didn't go to music school. I took some like music theory classes, but I never really applied it like to music. Like, it was almost like a totally separate thing because I only did music by ear. So I couldn't really connect the two. It didn't like make sense to me. So yeah, I just went to Skidmore, liberal arts school, and did theater, and it was music. The only way I'm trained is through musical theater, and I never was able to read music. It's all like by ear and stuff. So
that's awesome.
Short answer, no.
Yeah.
But I am definitely, and like I feel like you and I have connected over that. I was thinking that gearing up for this, I was like, it's crazy that like Christina and I both are just like follow your instinct type people, and like that's like something that is fun once you like really get into it.
Totally. And I was thinking about it because your music is like what I love about music, where it has this internal logic to it that you can really only understand by actually learning the song. Like, and
I know what you're saying, like the games of the song. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, exactly. And not necessarily learning how to play it, but like I like to listen to a song like 3,000 times in a row until I know like, how it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
And totally. That's a hard thing to teach, especially with music that's it's like so free and so controlled at the same time. Like, I can't believe how tight those recordings are.
Wow, that's really nice of you to say. It's hard for me to like have that perspective on it, but that I appreciate that. I think it's like so hard to have a healthy relationship with your own work, and like I really want to work on that because like, yeah, it's weird.
Well,
because I feel the opposite. Well, I feel the opposite about it. I like listen to it and I hear all the mistakes, even though the mistakes are kind of like why people like it. I'm just like, wow, I'm really putting out there that I'm just like, it's just so id. Like, it's so intense to me.
I hear no mistakes. But I understand the feeling. I hear only mistakes in my own music too.
Totally.
Well, it's like
Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say that's such a interesting thing that I feel like that there even is a concept of a mistake in music.
Mm-hmm.
you know, that just shows like what weird creatures we are. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that sound was a mistake. The other
Yeah.
sounds weren't mistakes.
Yeah.
It's because we all went to school for like 12 years of our, or I guess no, 16 years of our lives, where it's like that note good, that note bad, and
Yeah.
like it's still in my head. Like I always am like, the root to why someone might not like my band is because I'm not skilled. I'm not Lenny Kravitz.
But you are so skilled.
Yeah, that's like the opposite of being skilled. Lenny Kravitz. I mean, like nothing.
Yeah,
against
that's how
him.
it's weird. Yeah, it's weird. I agree, but like I still feel like he has more respect than I'll ever have.
Yeah, but it's respect from people that you wouldn't respect probably.
Very true. Like my dad.
I feel like parents get on board when you like enter the industry side of it.
Oh
And
my
they're like,
God, that's so true. Yes,
Okay, so you're like doing a thing now.
Yeah.
totally. So like you might be able to not ask me for money anymore. I see what you're driving at.
Kevin, did you have any?
Oh yeah, I want to ask you about your guitar playing. It's really cool. Like some of the sounds. Do you use pedals or is it all just moving your hand up and down the fretboard in like interesting ways?
It's pretty much just amp choice, guitar choice, and like balance on the amp choice. And then like everything I can add to the guitar itself, I do. So all of that sort of replaces pedals for me, like using a slide, using a whammy bar and a slide together, but like making sure to never really succumb to the whole pedal thing, because there really is so much you can manipulate without that. And also then you don't have to worry at shows about that extra step. I just like try to keep it really simple so that live, because already just holding a guitar, it's so heavy. Like I'm such a brat, and like setting up is a night, like I hate it. When I think about playing a show again, I think about like that, because I'm a brat. But like, yeah, keeping it as simple as possible and using like tube amps is just, that's pretty much where I'm at. And I think I'm gonna remain there for as long as possible. And try to not, because like once I start the pedal thing, it's gonna be a slippery slope. I'm gonna spend so much money. And
Pedals are hard to think about when you're performing too.
No, it's so
like-
annoying, especially if
yeah.
you're trying to sing and play the guitar and step on pedals. It's just
Yeah.
like, ugh.
so much goes wrong without it that I can't even imagine. Like when I'm like,
Yeah.
I want dry vocals into the whatever PA, already that sometimes is too much. It's like, yeah, so, but I feel like, you know, when you're playing in basements, it's one thing, but if you're playing at better spots, it's cool to incorporate everything. I mean, that's kind of like an awesome luxury. And like, I mean, it seems fun too. I'm kind of like either all minimal or all maximal, and like the maximal side sounds amazing to me as well.
Yeah.
What are your plans for like when the pandemic is over? Do you think you want to do like full band shows again, or?
I've been thinking a lot about that. I think that I'm very like germophobic and like just kind of like crazy about, I have like ear, nose, and throat stuff, and like I feel like I'm gonna wait till the vaccine probably to play again, which is
Yeah.
weird to say because the vaccine might not even like solve I don't know, but like, yeah, I just like, I think there's a lot I can do from home, and I want to become more of a recorder. And like, I'm kind of right now more focused on that because like I already have so many like social anxieties at shows, and to re-enter that after I've been like in mental prison, like I'm just gonna be like blinking and like, look, you can't make eye contact. You know what I mean? Like that's the way I feel right now.
Yeah, we were
like,
saying the
how?
same thing. Like if we watch television shows or something like from pre-COVID times, and it's just like 150 people in some small room, and we're like getting anxiety attacks just thinking about that, you know, like, oh,
Totally.
how are we ever going to go back to like feeling comfortable in a crowded room?
Yeah, totally.
And you say go back, but I think the truth is you never really were, and that's the issue. It's like
Yeah,
there
totally.
really always is that underlying anxiety.
Yeah, totally. Germ wise, this is kind of just a total tangent, but when we were on tour with Frankie Cosmos, they just brought their own like foam things that they put on the mics.
That's so smart. Wow,
that
I
so-
need to write this down.
I had never thought of that, but
You could also
That's a
just bring
tip
your
if
own
you don't
That's
have
so
your own mic.
good.
Yeah, but mics are expensive.
Wait,
Okay.
there. Okay, I'm right. Foam, foam cover. Wow, that's amazing. We're gonna like Lysol everyone's mouths or
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I get so sick on tour. It sucks.
Same. Even this
Every
is
tour.
talking. I toured for 4 days and I definitely felt sick. Like that's not long.
Do you want to like do you want to be a touring musician? Like do you see that in your future, or are you happy with like recording?
I don't want to do it, but everyone tells me that's like if you do one or a few great tours, that's really the best way to reach people. It's like kind of what everyone says, but like I'm high maintenance in certain ways that like I forget until I talk to other people where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm great. Like I'm insane. So like just the idea of staying from house to house on
Yeah.
floors in the cold, because I don't like I wouldn't want to tour in the summer, so it'd probably be like some middle seat. I don't know. There's so many little things that keep me from following my dreams.
It's really hard. I mean, touring, like, especially because you don't make a ton of money on tour. Like, especially.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Right?
It's mostly just if you really want to be humiliated every night, you go on tour.
Yeah, my method is to do like a bunch of tours that nobody likes.
Yeah.
I think that would actually be more fun if no one came to the shows. Because then there's no evidence.
Yeah.
It's really funny opening for Montreal. There's definitely a lot of awesome people who love Locate Us One, but I think like most of the audience has never heard of Locate Us One.
Really? That
That's
actually
always the case.
surprises me.
It's always the case when you're the opening band is,
Yeah.
you know, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Right. No, that's true. But,
And
you
then-
know, it
yeah.
depends. But yeah, no, I mean, I like coming, just in general, I like coming a little in the beginning. Like, you're paying for it.
Yeah, totally.
Why not?
yeah.
Like,
think-
why not see something you might love?
Yeah. And I forget that like most people at a show probably are not huge music nerds, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I
I
forget
mean, it
that.
depends, but yeah, totally.
They're not like, I really want to like expose my brain to something new that will be different from other things I've known about.
Right. And also sometimes people are invited to go, right? Like that's a thing. Someone's
Yeah,
like, hey, I have
totally.
tickets to the thing, or it's like a date. I always
Yeah.
I've like been on like 2 dates. So like that idea to me is so like I only do what I want. Never concede to anyone.
That's good.
And that's what a date sounds like.
Conceding.
Yeah. Like, okay, fine. I'll go to the graffiti pier for anyone who's from Philly.
Is
I'll
that
go
a
to the
venue?
dump. No, it's just like a place that people go to like make out, I think.
Make out of the dump.
Exactly. There's this alley that's pretty much everywhere in Philly. It's like it's an alley or a bridge.
Well, I can't wait to hear your new EP.
Yeah.
I'm really
think
excited.
I'm very excited to hear what you think.
Who else is working on it with you?
There's a band called R Clown that are from
That's
LA.
such a good name.
That was already like when I heard that I was like, I'm gonna love this band. It's basically, yeah, and it's spelled like R Crumb. It's just the most goofy, ridiculous thing. But anyway, like met this band in LA when I was hanging out there a couple summers ago. We stayed in touch, and then like we just like have a lot in common music. It was one of those things where it's like, yeah, we're on the same page. Like, so that's how we like just became very fast friends, because we were like, they knew my band, I saw their band and was like blown away. So then kept in touch with them, and I asked one of the members, Augie, to like jam over email, like just to try to do a collab. And it just became really fleshed out really quick. Like he
That's
sent
so
me a
sweet.
totally like drums, bass, and guitar backing track that was just done, that they just threw together. And I like got ideas right away and just like did all the vocals, and we were like, holy crap, like we can do this. It feels like we're in the same room, but we're not at all.
That
and
sounds
like
fun. We should
it's
do
so
that.
fun. I would recommend everyone like just ask your friends to collab. Like I've been doing that since my band broke up, and at first it was really weird, but then like you just like I like had no music from 2017 to 2019 released, and in the last like 7 months, because there's nothing else to do, I have like a lot of new stuff just from asking friends like wanna do something over email.
That sounds like fun. And also like collaborating with other people. Do you feel like that relieves some of the pressure of like just the complete terror of releasing music that you wrote all on your own? Or is it still scary?
Oh my God, it's so much less scary because I like it more when I'm responsible for less of it.
Totally. I feel the same way.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Getting the 50-50 mark, like it feels amazing. It's like, you know, I can just 50% of my insecurity can go because it's not me and it's someone I really like and respect. And then I actually appreciate my part so much more too.
That's a beautiful thing. Collaboration.
Yeah. And there's a very big competitive vibe in the music scene, and that's why people don't want to like ask each other to do stuff. I think it was more when I was younger that was the case, like 25 and below. Everyone was very and like moving the chess pieces a little too much. And then we were like, hold on a second, there isn't as much of us like left when you're in your later 20s. Let's just like have fun.
I'm like kind of just thinking about this now, but that competitive thing is so weird because I felt it a lot when I was more like in a DIY, not like on a label, community, like in New York. And the competition was like, who's going to get to that level or something. Like
that is exactly what that is, I think.
But then it's
everyone's in the scarcity mindset.
Yeah. But then when you like get signed to a label, it's like
You lose all your friends.
Yo, true.
That's true.
When I'm thinking of all the people wait, that's insane. Oh Lord.
You lose all your friends, but it's also like you're not actually in competition. Like a label person can never meaningfully be in competition with like a DIY person. Like we're pretending that they're in the same worlds, but they're not at all. Like DIY music has built, it's like they build their own venues and their own communities, and like it's just so funny to be a little bit outside of that and see like competition within that group.
That's actually really interesting, and I think it's just like I'm connecting a lot of dots just between people's general like scarcity in their lives and how they treat each other, and that I think is where a lot of that comes from.
Yeah, and also this feeling of like only so many people can make it, and it's like, well, what is making?
And what is making? We weren't.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I just think that it's really good to talk about this stuff too, because like, you know, when I'm making the music, I'm not really thinking about it at all. But then it keeps presenting itself again every time like the other parts of music come in to play, and like it's good that like I'm just surprised to hear a lot of what you both are saying being so like similar to how I'm feeling, because nobody talks about it.
Yeah, I've noticed like people don't really talk about
No,
it.
they don't at all. I feel like because there's this veneer that we all love and support each other, which is not it's true. I think it's also true. Yeah. So we want to feed that.
And we
especially,
also know that we should. We know that that's how we should be acting.
Exactly. It's very like, it's strange. And I think because people, it's like a cult, when you have such an allegiance to the cult, then anyone in dissent is going to be like kind of cast off or like being treated as the stressor.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, that's uplifting.
Yeah.
I was about to say this is, no, but I really hoped we would cover some dark matter.
Well, I like covering it because, like I get really stuck in the like industry mindset of like wanting to make it or something, and like forgetting the whole reason I started making music is because I love making music, not because I want to like succeed in some industry.
Yeah, but it's obviously complicated when you spend that much time doing it. Then how are you going to make money? You know what I mean?
Totally. There is that. But yeah, I feel like you have to reconcile those things in your brain just to be able to make the next thing, because it can be so like debilitating to think.
Soon
about
we're
that.
gonna all start giving each other money, so like we can all just like do it for fun, and like, you know, everyone's gonna believe in socialism and be like, you don't have it, now I help you. I don't have it, now you help me. And like, it's just gonna
Yes.
be, that's really
my-
the goal.
That's my vision of the future. Fuck robots. I
Fuck
just want people.
billionaires.
Fuck billionaires. I just want utopia. So
I mean, a lot of it is actually happening right now, which is sweet. It's not across the board, but like the donation stuff going on in 5 seconds, you know, money is just being like moved around. It's like pretty
Yeah.
insane.
Do you see?
If you
a lot of
ask, you
that?
receive.
Yeah.
Yes, I do see a lot of it. And I think like, obviously there's not enough of it,
Yeah.
but people are asking for more of it to happen because it's made such a big impact already.
Yeah, I think it's like it's great that we are creating these systems where we can support each other. Like we were talking about Patreon and how like
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of, you know, there's still a company and you don't want to like glorify any company, but like the fact that they've made it possible for us to like do what we do and still like buy groceries and live in our house is pretty fucking cool.
Totally. And so much of that stuff can exist off of Patreon and
Yeah,
on, you know what I mean?
totally.
There's just like that, and that's why Patreon's great, because it like reminds people that this is normal.
Yeah,
Like you
totally.
can support an artist you love for a very small fee a month, and
Yeah.
it makes a huge difference, you know?
Totally.
Yeah, I always think about that thing at the convenience store, like have a penny, leave a penny, need a penny, take a penny. Like if there's sort of a thing like that where like, oh, I got an extra $2, I'm just gonna put it into this fund that anyone can have or whatever. If that would work, where like it would turn into like $1 trillion and anybody that just needed, like you couldn't take more than say like $100 a day or something, but like you could take $100 every day.
Totally. And I know people who are already starting to operate under that mindset, and it's really cool. And it's like, you know, it's not hard to switch your brain to do that, especially when you can do it in 30, you know, milliseconds on your phone.
Yeah,
Totally.
Just send money immediately.
Yeah.
I did that for the first time today.
But you've been donating a shit ton.
No, I
of money.
donate a lot of money to charities and stuff like that, but the first
But
like,
To,
direct,
like an
yeah,
individual.
it's
Right.
like a
Yeah.
GoFundMe thing.
that's that's what's up. That
Yeah.
I think both are great, and yeah, I need to be better. I mean, now that unemployment's a thing, I'm trying to like, I'm just so overwhelmed that I'm just like, how do I do this in a way that's like works? You know, how do I
Yeah.
set these like giving goals and stuff? And yeah, figuring that out is tough, but yeah.
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 I would like to switch gears for a quick second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to obviously address that I am an Of Montreal super fan. 'Cause
Ah.
I feel like everyone watching is probably bummed because they can't see you, they can see me,
Well,
and
they can.
y'all are why they're here.
Well, they can see on the YouTube video.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, that actually. All right, let me see if I can. You know what?
We're
I'm
side
going
by
on the YouTube.
But the
I'm gonna go on the YouTube.
So there's like a latency
Oh,
with the YouTube.
I'm gonna turn the volume down.
Yeah.
Wow, this is insane.
So cute.
So yeah,
you could
oh my
see
god,
it.
this is great. And now I'm looking up, looking down. All right.
Yeah, it's weird because there's like a lag in the stream, so you get like really thrown off if you're like looking at that as a monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's just gonna be like I'm gonna do a quick check to see if there's smiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
It
go back.
actually it helps. It helps
Yeah,
me to
yeah.
glance over there.
Yeah.
Totally. But yeah, like Of Montreal is great.
Thank you.
You had seen Of Montreal a bunch of times, right? I thought you
Yes.
said yeah.
I have seen Of Montreal a bunch of times. I think I used to say it was 8, but I think that's a number I made up. But definitely between 5 and 8. I saw the Lou Reed had
Oh,
just
cool.
died
Oh, shit.
show.
You saw
I s-
that?
Oh my god, I saw that. That was great.
Didn't that
great
end in a
times.
guitar smash?
Yes, wait, I forgot. Yeah, no, it definitely did. I remember my vision because this was actually, I mean, I'm getting a little older, so that was actually a while for me. But I do just remember ripping solo. Like just the flames were coming out of my fingers at the moment.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tight.
Wish I had been there for that show.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I was at the Mercurian pool in 2012.
Oh, cool.
That was the first time I ever saw Montreal, and I think that's what really just like I was like, all right, cool, I'm in. I get it.
That show felt so good. It was so magical.
Where is
It was so good. It's in Brooklyn, I guess, like Williamsburg, and this was like almost a decade. I mean, a little less than a decade ago. So I think it was like before it was as Williamsburg-y as now. It was just like different.
Okay,
it was a little bit different back then. It was like more chill.
I think
And yeah, that show was amazing.
I think it's the place where we saw Die Hard that one time. Did they do like movies outdoors now?
Yeah, they did. They did a lot there. I remember I
Cool.
saw like every indie superstar there.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I saw
It's awesome.
a lot of embarrassing bands there.
Really? Like
I'm trying to think.
What if we were at the same show, Christina?
I know, it was a festival. I feel like maybe Camera Obscura was playing because I was a big Camera Obscura
why is that
fan.
embarrassing? They're awesome.
Yeah, they're great. But
Yeah, they're actually really good. And also I saw Regina Spektor there and Albert
Oh, cool.
Hammond Jr.
Wow.
wait, I think maybe I was there.
I thought you would be there, dude. I thought you would be there, dude. And like we're like what, 1 year apart in age?
Are we?
I think so. I'm turning 29.
I'm 31.
Okay, 2 years. But still, you know, we're
Yeah. We would have
We're
been at the same
close-ish.
festival.
Yo, that was so good.
That was like festivals were so much more fun when I was like a dumb teenager.
Yeah. I remember going to outdoor shows, and even if it was like raining or whatever, I was like, yeah, I'm still like, I was still like, now again, minor inconveniences. This is something everyone should know about me. I'm like basically the Larry David of music.
I'm the same. I hate going out. I hate leaving
Yeah.
my house.
Yeah,
But, like
totally.
I can't sit down on a soft surface. That's going to be a problem.
We had the
And this is
realization-
just, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, Christina had the realization last night. We were watching King of the Hill, and you're like, I think I'm Hank Hill.
Oh yeah, I realized I am Hank Hill. I'm like that.
I could actually see that.
Like they're not following the rules.
I hate it when people don't follow the rules. I'm like not. I don't belong in a DIY space.
I've discovered in myself that I am similar. I have sometimes I say some coppish things, and
Yeah,
I'm just
me
saying
too.
that it's a public confession.
I also confess that, and it's something I'm checking within myself, and I'm working on.
Totally. I mean, when people put themselves in danger, I just like become and like I just
know,
go
me
very
too.
much into like, you shouldn't do that because I want you to be alive.
I
and
get
like,
so stressed out. I remember it's like, there's a particular Brooklyn venue that doesn't exist anymore that you know about, but on the roof,
oh yeah,
the ledge. Oh my God.
Mhm.
When people would sit on that goddamn roof ledge, it killed me.
I
could
hate
not.
that stuff. I just like, it's like so funny. I'm like there in chains being like, oh no. Just like, I have a whip in my hand. Like, sweetie, do you want a meal? You want some falafel?
You want to come off that wall?
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
no, people that I think that I was just gonna say I think that's needed. You know, people like us who
Yeah.
are gonna say get off the ledge. We're also necessary. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, well, because I mean, I feel like there are some people who are just so like gleefully not that person.
Oh yeah,
And they're just like, what if I just like walk into the shark water?
totally,
Wouldn't
totally.
that be cool?
And I'm like, no, I love you. Literally every relationship I've ever been.
This reminds me of Kevin on the roller skates.
Thank God, wow, it comes full circle.
Yeah, I was the boy on the wall.
The boy in the shark's
Humpty
mouth.
Dumpty.
All right, we're gonna get back to playing some tunes,
It was great talking to you.
Cool.
but you
Yeah,
can,
this was sick. Thank you so much.
feel free to stay on the Zoom or check out if you want, or just watch on the YouTube. For everyone in the Zoom, it's definitely ideal to watch on YouTube if you're not actively talking on the Zoom, because then you can hear the music. But I love you, Jazz. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for talking.
Thank
to
you
us.
guys so much for having me. This was great. And I'm excited to watch back your facial reactions.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Let's play another Old Maybe song.
Yeah.
What do you think we should
Yay.
play?
You should play Metal June.
Cool.
Okay. Here it comes. And let's do this again when your EP comes out.
Oh my god, that would be so fun.
Yeah.
This is the first thing I've done in like 6 weeks. So
I love
let's rock.
All
Yeah.
right. Peace.
Great talking to you guys.
Bye,
You
Jazz.
too.
Bye.
Bye.
So much for having me. This was great, and I'm excited to watch back your facial reaction. It's gonna be great.
What do I do? How can I change you? I try and try and try and try. It's all in my head. That's what you said. Look at my iris. How can you deny this?
I hear a sound, it's going through my brain. I hear talk of people, I feel the falling rain. I see a man crying, 'cause the whole world has let him down. Kids are laughing at funny faces of a clown. My mind is like a spring in a clock, it won't unwind. I can't see, I can't think, I can't feel, I'm out of time. I'm up and then I'm down, tell me where is it going to end? You say start at the beginning again, my friend. Hear thunder, and I can feel the wind. I can see angry faces in the eyes of men. And don't forget Kids State, where kids lay bleeding on the ground. And there's no place on this planet where peace can be found. So there'll be stabbings and shootings and young men dying all around. And it keeps going through my brain, and I can still hear the sound. I hear talking of people, the whole world has gone insane.
Hi, y'all. This is Kevin. I'm going to play something. Hopefully it works. We've never done this before, but I'm going to try to do this live thing where I show you a song I'm working on right now in Logic. As you can see, it's a whole lot of little colorful clips. And initially, this is this weird thing that I started during Your Fun. This was like this weird outro thing that I started at the end of Saint Sebastian, but it kind of didn't really feel like it made sense on Your Fun, so I decided to hold off on it and then started working on it a bit more with for this new album that I'm working on, and just play you a little bit. I'll just play the whole thing, and you can hear it and see. It's kind of crazy. Hopefully it sounds.
I love that ending.
Yeah,
Drum fill. That's like obviously not intentional, but
yeah. So that's thinking behind that is that's just where I ended last night. So I don't really know yet what I'm going to do with it.
it
But
sounds
I like
amazing.
I like the idea of having like really gross sounds. You know, like that
Yeah,
sounds
I
like
love that.
this like.
Well,
bad-
so like that isolated drum track at the end is so like first step into a guitar sound. Where
Yeah,
you're like,
totally.
what the fuck?
Totally.
I love it.
Yeah, so think that this would be kind of a fun song. I downloaded all of these samples, these like guitar samples from Splice, and just sort of put them in random places. Because I was trying with this song, I was trying to see like what I could do with just samples, because I rarely do that. I rarely have a whole song that's just samples, and so I just wanted to see like if I could do something that sounded different from things that I've done in the past. And just as an experiment, just did this thing. This is like a whole bunch of samples and kind of like a lot of stupid sounds that I would normally be like, oh, that's really dumb. No one could ever use that. But then thought, why not use some stupid sounds? Things, like this, for example, is kind of a stupid sound, but it's also kind of awesome. Just this like metal guitar pick slide, so there's like a whole bunch of like funny things like that. Just like this. Oops, wrong Krang. But inside of this like super bonkers, just like all these loops are just like they don't make any sense. But that's kind of like the thing I've been trying to get more into, is so I could make like an arrangement that sort of makes sense and then chop it up in a way that stops making sense, and then try to make sense of the new thing that doesn't make any sense. And I feel like it's a good way to approach arranging songs on the computer, because it's so easy to kind of just always make sense and have everything resolve in a way that feels normal. But it gets so boring, if everything just sort of resolves in a way that's super normal, and predictable, even though like it just feels good because we're like so programmed to do everything in 4s or 2s, like all these even numbers. So it's cool to like really mess with different time signatures. So like I made this loop that I added vocals to after the fact, but before I did it, it was just this loop, the purple stuff. Yeah, so it's just this with no keyboard and no vocals or anything. So that was the loop. And then added this overheim part to kind of give it a little bit more structure. And then from there, try to work out a melody line that was cool. Oops, wrong button.
Dementia movements to be credulous at all costs, but failing badly. True beauty forever. True beauty forever. I took all the pain I had in my mind, shape it into a triangle, and drown it in a pool of blood. True beauty forever.
Yeah. So there's that. Work in progress. Yay! I've been doing this thing where I have a stack of unpublished poems and then I have like tons of stuff. Sorry. What were you?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, you want to change it to the talking head?
No, yeah.
Talking. There we go. So yeah, did just have this like stack of poetry that I haven't published or used, and also like going through stuff on my phone and just like, okay, because I have so much music now, but that I don't have lyrics for yet. So it's been kind of fun to just be like, I don't know, that one line maybe kind of works, and then go to like a whole bunch of different other poems. Like no. Oh yeah, that one line kind of works. It's interesting the difference between writing poetry and writing lyrics.
What do you think the difference between that is?
Well, just like you don't have to worry about meter or anything. You know, like there are no restrictions when you're writing poetry.
Oh yeah.
But then
totally.
with lyrics, it's like so essential that it like has to, everything has to fit in a certain groove, which you don't have to worry about with poetry unless you're a mad rhymer.
Well, I realize. Can I switch gears for a second?
Yeah, totally.
But bouncing off of that.
Yeah.
So this like thing that I tweeted, the clip of Joni Mitchell talking about chords and stuff. What I really wanted to say about that is like writing poetry and lyrics. I feel like so much of the poetry of lyrics also comes from the music itself, which is like what I was trying to get across. Do you feel like that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the vibe of the song can definitely bring out lyrics, or like an attitude that you're using to sing with can bring out certain lyrics. And yeah, so it's so cool in that way. But yeah, if the music is kind of boring, then you don't really feel like singing anyways.
Yeah, but like the emotional depth of like how Joni was talking about a sus chord being meaningful, and like, I like if you go from a sus to a sus, you lack resolve and you have all of these questions, and like what you put on top of that lyrically, those things talking to each other is like, it's like the deepest poetry.
Just in the chords, you mean?
And so if you have chords and lyrics at the same time, that are like the chords can act as this like lyrical foil to the actual lyrics.
Totally.
That's so, I love thinking about that.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, especially like when you're writing songs in if you're just gonna use like a bar chord, and you think, well,
Which I do a lot.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have like augmented chords and suspended chords and just different extra notes that just
Mhm.
like kind of like tweak the vibe of the chord.
Yeah. But that you can think of those tweaks as like emotional, like lyrical
Yeah.
tweaks.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting to think about chords in that way.
Yeah.
And like every single note is important. It's not just like a
yeah, and it adds dimension to the lyric that you're actually singing too. Like
yeah.
like the way the chords move. I know we already talked about Coyote.
Yeah.
But I think we got cut off before we talked about Coyote last time.
Oh yeah.
But like the way the chords move in that song move with the lyrics so seamlessly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. It's like this like magic carpet that she's flying around on or
Yeah.
something.
Like every time she goes down to this, like, I can't remember what chord it is because I'm just remembering the chord shapes.
I think it's an H27.
It's 27 hertz. But like every time she goes down to this one chord, she says like the lyric becomes the thing that's like the little knot in the
Like
story.
A little like
It's
a meme
so
thing.
fucking, and I'm sure it's just totally intuitive for her.
Yeah.
But like that kind of writing,
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah. She is one of the great living gems.
Yeah.
It's
Knock
like
on wood.
yeah. There's got to be some
Let's
wood
get
here
some wood.
somewhere. Find the wood.
Find my wood.
You want to play a Joni song since we're
Yeah.
in that state of mind?
Sure. I'd be proud to.
We're playing Joni.
It's
We're
always hard
playing
to choose
Joni.
the perfect Joni song. You know?
Picking Joni songs.
Picking Joni songs by the river tonight.
I'm gonna
Pick
find
some
another
Joni songs when
song
you're
that
doing
goes
it
in the
right.
rain.
And you never know Joni when she's coming up fast. Joni's in the mirror.
But she's like the perfect example of like, if you look at her top songs on Spotify, it's like, yeah, those are all great songs, but they would definitely not be my top songs. You know what I mean? I feel like that's just the case for like so many artists. It's just like, oh yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
Oh, like the top songs, like the top played songs.
Oh, yeah. Well, because people's relationship with music is totally Disney.
Yeah,
It's Disneyfied.
totally.
Like, they don't want to get into the deep cuts. Most people. The people here, I'm sure, are music nerds.
Yeah.
Okay, let's listen to this song. I love this song so much.
All the people at this party, they've got a lot of style. They've got stamps of many countries. They've got passport smiles. Some are friendly, some are cutting. Some are watching it from the wings. Some are standing in the center, giving to get something. Photo beauty gets attention, and her eye paint's running down. She's got a rose in her teeth and a lampshade crown. 1 minute she's so happy, then she's crying on someone's knee, saying, laughing and crying, you know it's the same release. I told you when I met you I was crazy. Cry for a song, beauty. Cry for Eddie in the corner, thinking he's nobody. And Jack behind his joker and Stone Cold Grace behind her fan. And me in my frightened silence, thinking I don't understand. I feel like I'm sleeping. Can you wake me? You seem to have a broader sensibility. I'm just living on nerves and feelings with a weak and a lazy mind. And coming to people's parties, fumbling, deaf, dumb, and blind. I wish I had more sense of humor, keeping the sadness at bay, throwing the lightness on these things, laughing it all away. Laughing it all away. Laughing it all away.
All right. Man, the
Laughing it all
harmonies. Oh, the overdubbed vocals at the end there.
Yeah, I took so much from her for when I do layered vocals.
Really?
Yeah, like that vibrato. I think it sounds so cool when you layer vocals with vibrato, each one like
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Ladies of the Canyon has a lot of that good shit too.
Yeah. Her harmonies were so influential on the way I write harmonies. And
I mean, let's just face it. She's like the best songwriter ever.
definitely in the running. I mean, it's hard to say.
Songwriter.
Yeah.
Songwriter.
Yeah. I mean, I love her, like that whole thing of like when people ask her, like, so some people say you're the best female songwriter. She's like, I'm the best songwriter.
I know. She's such a badass. Okay. And also, like, I will say, I hate when people say that anyone is the best at anything because I hate hierarchies in music.
Yeah,
But to me personally, she is the most influential.
definitely. And in a lot of ways, the most like grossly overlooked as far as like the respect, you know, like people are always
Yeah.
like giving other people way more respect than they deserve. And she's getting like way less respect than she deserves.
Totally.
She's like an absolute icon, legend
Yes.
in all ways.
Ladies, watch out for a man who does not appreciate Joni. You're not going to have good luck. It's my final word on the matter.
Yeah. Should we take a zoom?
Yeah, let's zoom out.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Everybody zoom.
We got to zoom and you got to do it right. You want to pick and choose?
Yeah. I don't know who did we leave out last time? I feel like
Gotta do
Yeah,
it zoom,
got
gotta do it
to-
right. Gotta hit it right now, gotta
Eric.
go all right.
Eric. Oh, unmute. Eric,
Eric?
can you hear us?
Eric?
Hello? Hello?
We can hear you.
Maybe we're hearing someone
Oh.
else.
Yeah, no, that's him.
Am I the one holding up my hand?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Hi.
It's just a weird lag. How's it going, man? How's it going?
How's it going, man?
It's going good. Oh, sorry, I need to unmute the YouTube thing. It's going good. My girlfriend and I are about to go help my brother and his girlfriend do like a photo shoot down at the beach in like an hour or so.
Whoa, sounds
But
pretty
I'm-
COVID-y.
Right. But
You
I,
kind of, from the side, your profile, you kind of look like Sam Neill. Have you ever gotten that before?
the actor
From
like
Jurassic Park and In the Mouth of
Possession.
Madness. Is he in Possession?
Is he Possession, or is that the
I
movie?
can't remember who's in Possession.
Okay, well, thank you.
Scary
I
movie.
like him.
He's great.
Yeah, wait,
Or
is,
you guys?
is Possession...
That's
Who's,
the Possession's the insane movie with the woman who gets possessed, right? The wife, and she's like fucking insane. And
I was thinking like The Conjuring. Or is
I
it
don't know. This
something
is older, like
But-
from the 70s.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, it's from like a Polish filmmaker
Yeah.
who I used to live in Brooklyn, and BAM did like a retrospective of all of his stuff. So I saw a bunch of his things, including Possession, and I remember just being blown away by that movie. But Sam Neill is definitely in it now that we confirmed that
Okay,
is
good.
the movie. But he also did like some crazy. He did this crazy. Maybe he's Russian. I would have to check. I don't remember his name very well, but he did this crazy movie that I think that's based on like a musical about like a Russian czar who is just every nth degree insane, but it was also kind of like looking at how it's like a warring faction for the crown.
Is this
and,
the same director?
Yeah, the same director. It's a musical.
That sounds amazing.
But in like it's like a musical, but in Polish or Russian.
I miss
it's
those
all just
BAM things so much. That's like the number one thing I miss from New York. Living in New York is all the awesome movies that you could always go see.
Yeah. So I'm from San Francisco originally, and that's where I am now. And We have a few kind of cool movie theater. The Castro movie theater.
Oh, I love the Castro.
Yeah, that's my potentially my favorite like movie experience is the Castro. But
Have you seen
yeah,
it
I miss it.
with like the organist and everything?
Yeah,
I saw
definitely.
the organist last night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the first time I went to the Castro, I was like, I don't know, like 12, and my father took me to see what's the French movie where they're in like it's black and white and they're in a POW camp. It's incredibly famous. And it has like the German, it's in World War I, and there's like the German guy who has like the weird like face covering because he has like a wound.
Oh,
It's all about like POWs. Yeah. But that was the first time I remember seeing the organist and yeah, being blown away by the place. Actually, ironically, the last thing we saw at the Castro was The Shining right before
Oh, nice.
going into lockdown.
Did you see the discourse on Twitter about how The Shining should be re-examined for its glorification of domestic abuse?
Interesting. I mean, I don't think I come away thinking that. Yeah, I don't think I come away thinking that Jack is in the right in any way.
There's also like
The thing-
horror.
Yeah.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like if you're bothered by
Right.
disturbing things, don't see a horror movie. Am I crazy?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there are like, I don't know, there are movies I don't love that are horror movies because they're just like totally fucked up. But
Yeah, I mean, even going back to Possession, that has a lot of like
sexism,
abuse.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But in
and
The
it's always
Shining, I
interesting
feel
to
like
think
it's
about.
all addressed. It's like, yeah, he's a fucking asshole, alcoholic, terrorizing
Yeah,
his
my-
family.
and my understanding, even I haven't read the novel, is that alcoholism has a lot to do with just like maybe even the subtext of the story.
Yeah, well, Stephen
so you
King,
think
yeah.
Yeah, so you think that would be an important just like aspect to look at it when it comes to discussing abuse in general. But the one thing I was going to say about The Shining is when I rewatched it again is how quickly he goes insane.
I feel like he's already insane. He goes into
Yeah,
it.
it's already like he's like right on the verge. Because I thought like, oh, like it's going to take him a little while, but like it's like first like boom, like two, like 1 month, and he's already like standing over the maze going with his crazy eyes.
Yeah. Well, they reference in the movie, they reference like some other time where he like hurt his kid.
Right.
Oh,
yeah,
like,
where
you went
the
insane
kid had
that
spread
one
the
time.
papers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he grabbed the kid and like dislocated his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he already has like a darkness to him. Yeah.
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 But I was actually kind of so I was intrigued to ask you about. So I do like film and TV stuff, and I was intrigued by your process of making your music videos, because it seems to me or I've noticed like a lot of like not lo-fi but kind of like intimate music videos that it's just kind of like almost like a familial process of making the videos, and I was just kind of intrigued like how you go about designing your concepts for your videos or how that works out.
You asking me or Christina?
Well, both. I mean, I was looking at like Locate S1's videos before hopping on here, where they kind of actually remind me of a certain of Montreal videos where they're both, some do have kind of like more that like VHS-y vibe or like lo-fi vibe or almost like infomercially vibe, especially for I forget which song it was, Christina, but
1-800 capital C.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1-800 capital C, where it actually like is kind of like an infomercial. If either of you want to talk about it, I'd be curious to hear from both of you.
Well, that video was made by our friend Taylor Ross, who's in that band Surface to Air Missive, and he makes really great videos for lots of things. And I just loved the aesthetic and the kind of like sense of humor that he had with video, so I asked him to make that. And then For other videos, I've either made them myself or, like for Ode to the Girls, had friends like help film it, and then I edited it. And then I don't know. I guess I'm like,
It's mostly stuff that we've done. Well, a lot of the videos are things that we've done ourselves, or we had a friend do it, but we're very involved with it. And then
yeah,
some of the stuff has been just like, okay, try to find someone else to make a video. And
it's very. I think a big thing of it is it's like very low budget.
Yeah, it's
every
always
time it
super low
happens,
budget.
and I feel
Right.
like VHS film low budget looks a lot better than digital low budget. So that's probably why the VHS-y thing happens
Yeah.
for me.
yeah, I mean, in general, like analog stuff just looks
Analog
flabbier.
is warm and
Yeah.
cozy, and
Yeah.
digital is cold and scary.
Yeah. But then, sometimes
But then, yeah,
digital is
like-
cool because it's so crisp and can be so much more
Totally.
vivid. And
Yeah.
yeah, so everything has its good side
Yeah,
too.
totally.
Do you do like a lot of like TV shows, movies, music videos? What do you mainly do?
So I'm currently working on or I guess documentaries would be
Oh, cool.
the main thing. I've kind of hopped around on various things. We're currently doing a documentary that we have a friend in Brooklyn who's actually a Sudanese or Ethiopian refugee from the time that the Derg was kind of in power there. So he was actually separated from his mother when he was 6 or so, and she had to stay in Sudan because she was sick, and his father took him to the U.S. But then the father was killed when they were in the U.S. So he actually became like an orphan in the U.S. And it's all about the process of him reconnecting with his mother and like them getting back together.
Wow, that's awesome. Is that
Yeah,
something that's available for viewing?
No. So that's what I'm currently working on,
Okay.
and we're in the middle of it before coronavirus shut down everything. But we had luckily we had actually luckily gotten to go to Ethiopia
Oh, wow.
before this and interview her. And actually last night we were doing when her interviews all in Amharic, which is like the Ethiopian language. So my girlfriend was just kind of laying down the temp translation English track for that. So kind of doing what we can editing wise while here.
Yeah, that's been the one. That's within the one kind of like good aspect of the whole shutdown of culture and society is like, at least for me, I feel like I've started working on projects that I probably wouldn't have otherwise, and just like going through like old projects that I've started and then just kind of abandoned, and seeing like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. I can do something with that, and just kind of having just more time to reflect on everything. Like I feel like all like the positive stuff that's been happening in, as far as like Black Lives Matter gaining more traction and people becoming more like socially conscious.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful that a lot of people are not working right now.
Yeah, because a lot of people just didn't have the luxury of
yeah.
spending a lot of time thinking about life in general and thinking about the system that exists, that we're all like trapped inside of.
I was I shot a thing like I guess like 10 years ago that I kind of just put to the side, but then being forced to just like be with your computer at your house all the time, it kind of allowed me the headspace to also like look at that again and be like, oh, I should edit this together, because it'd be nice to not just have it be like taking up hard drive space or something like that.
Isn't it crazy? Don't you feel like, at least for me, I feel like I'm just bouncing from screen to screen all day long.
Totally.
There's like a few hours here and there where I'm not in front of a screen.
Oh yeah. I mean, as the nature of the video work as well, it's just like I'm sitting in front of a computer for 10 hours a day. And then my recreational activities are very like screen focus as well, watching either films or I've been one goal I gave to myself was to watch every. I learned that the Globe Theater has all their Shakespeare plays available for rent.
Oh, cool.
So I've been trying to watch like every Shakespeare play, or
I
like
was just
finally
thinking
just
last night. I was like, Kevin, we have to watch some Shakespeare movies.
But say which one specifically?
Well, I'm not embarrassed.
Okay.
With the Romeo and Juliet movie, which I love. I think it's a wonderful movie.
the Claire Danes.
Yeah, it's a
one?
great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. I like it.
But I want to watch like all of the Shakespeare movies.
Yeah, I remember seeing The Taming of the Shrew with Richard Burton.
I've never seen that one.
Oh yeah.
I've seen the Macbeth one.
I think it's Richard
I've
Burton
seen
and
the original
Elizabeth
Romeo
Taylor.
and Juliet.
Oh
but
yeah,
I
the
think that's
Macbeth
it.
one is really good.
Yeah. I love
Yeah,
that
those are
shit.
good. And Al Pacino has a good Merchant of Venice or not adaptation, I guess it's just the play. That's also good. Yeah, but also I recommend seeing it on as a play and also in like the Globe, because you don't I think on screen you don't like recognize how much of like there's an interplay between the audience and the performers.
Oh, are they allowed to like talk and?
Well, it's just like in Henry V, there's this great scene, and it's one of Shakespeare's most famous like speeches where he says, onto the breach, dear friends," and he's like kind of they're sieging a castle town called Harfleur, and he gives this like rousing speech to his men to like keep going, but in the way that the Globe did it in this rendition, he's like basically turned the audience into like his army.
What?
And he's like pointing out to them, and he goes up to one specifically to say like, "Oh, like you good yeoman, like you were made in England, and like you need to prove your merit," and he like hits him on the shoulder and things like that.
Cool.
So yeah,
check that
it's
out.
very interesting.
Yeah. Shakespeare's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
He's a funny motherfucker.
Yeah, well, and he's also, that's what's great is he's a very funny writer as well. If he did indeed write all of his plays, he has a lot of humor. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that Shakespeare is a black woman? Is that true?
I don't know. I've never heard that theory. What is there
Well,
a
I
theory behind
always
that?
hear these, like every year there's a new theory that Shakespeare's like a different identity.
I'm trying to think of anything that I've seen in Shakespeare plays that would make me think. It is interesting. I mean, Shakespeare's plays don't ever, I don't know. They seem pretty like Eurocentric of the time.
Well, to me, it's just like, who would ever let anyone other than a white man put on a play in that time period?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That kind of makes you curious about like British or like immigration in that time in general, and how much like whether like England would just be kind of like a union of like Anglo-Saxon people, or if there would have been like much more just like a diverse population.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, like, culturally what that was like.
Yeah.
There actually aren't that
But
many white people in England, though. Just joking. Just
But yeah,
joking.
I mean, I think that'd be very fascinating if it did turn out that something like Measure for Measure was written by a black lady.
I don't know.
Should we say hi to someone else?
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thanks for chatting with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Chatting
Nice
talking to you.
movies.
good luck
Yeah,
on
you
your
too.
beach shoot.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah. It's like you're gonna be surrounded by frat boys, right? And like
Well, yeah, it's just the four of us,
Okay,
thankfully.
good.
But maybe we'll attract them.
Good luck getting away from the dinosaurs and starting a family.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 Hi.
We gotta unmute her.
Hi.
She's unmuted.
Oh, okay.
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Misha.
I'm alright.
What's new? What brings you to our crying out?
I always try to pop in. I think this is my first time coming in on Zoom. To be honest, I was
that's
like,
why I
you know,
singled you out.
thank you. I think I was like, you know, let's get some social interaction. I feel like my roommate has been bearing the brunt of most of that. So,
Oh my God, tell me about this. Is like why we do this, because
Yeah,
we would go
totally.
insane if we didn't talk to you guys.
it's so nice. It's so nice seeing all these lovely faces and your lovely faces.
Likewise.
How have you been? What have you been up to?
I've been pretty terrible.
Oh, no.
So I've just been like a zombie. But that's life. That's most
Because
people's
of
life.
COVID?
Yeah, that for sure. Lots of like political stuff for sure. I'm
Yeah.
also, not to bring the room down, I'm still
Bring it
grieving.
down. We're down.
Yeah, my dad died this year, so I'm
Oh
just
my
kind of
God,
like
I'm so sorry.
zombie. It's life, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. There's like all this stuff happened, and then there's like the pandemic, and so like all of my grieving kind of took a pause, and now I'm like, oh no,
That
I'm in a
must be
room
so
by myself.
hard to navigate. Like,
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. It must be so hard.
Do you have anybody
Yeah.
like in your bubble that you can hang with? Like, do you have like a small bubble of people that you can chill with?
Yeah, my roommate's pretty good about it. It like immediately after, a lot of my friends kind of were really supportive, but there's only like so much you can, I don't know, offload on people, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
That feels like comfortable for your relationship too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard.
So
And yeah, without like, I don't know. It's so hard to know the balance between getting support and knowing when you're like overloading someone else, and especially when
Yeah.
like therapy is so expensive and hard to
Oh yeah. Do you ever
find.
do like therapy over the phone?
Yeah, I have like it's like a video
Oh, okay.
situation.
Can we have Christina and I and Alibi all have the same therapist?
You do.
It's
Yeah.
very unhealthy.
It's very well.
But we don't really go to her a lot.
We haven't done it. We've done some like couple therapy with her, and then we've done individual things with her.
Yeah, that was super helpful. She's like part of this program that's really affordable, and like there are systems in different towns, states, depending on where you are, where they can cover the cost. So
Yeah, especially for you, because I don't know if you want me to say.
no, it's fine.
Oh yeah, because you've had abuse in your past.
Yeah, they like cover my therapy sessions.
Yeah,
For
that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. So if people feel like, oh, therapy is too expensive, or I can't do it now, or whatever, like there definitely are
There are
options.
ways.
Yeah, I never like growing up. My parents were very anti-therapy, which is obviously extremely toxic and
Yeah.
borderline abusive. So, but I always wanted to see a therapist, and I was never able to. But when I got older, I started looking into it more. But then the therapists that I met, I never liked. I never thought they were very smart or helpful. So it took a while before I found my current therapist, who I love, and I get a lot out of talking to her, and she's helped me with so much stuff. So even if you like initially have like a bad time with, I don't know if you've ever had like bad therapists.
Do you like your therapist?
Yeah, my therapist is great. I've had her for several years. I'm
Cool.
pretty sure she's trying to like wean out of the practice, but feels like a commitment to her like 2 clients who are keep hanging on. So like I'm like, please stay. I haven't said anything, but I think she's so she's really good. I definitely had like some kind of strange therapists before, like early on,
Yeah.
for similar reasons. Like my mom was like, this is a failing on my part if you need to go to therapy. And I was like,
No, not true.
Nah.
I'm 17. I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy how that some parents would like care more about the optics of it. You know, like, oh, it just looks bad if my child's going to therapy. That my child's not crazy. You know, it's like
Yeah,
we're all crazy. Like we all need help.
totally. It's
like-
not about them.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But have you been working on any projects or anything, or? Anything to keep your
Um,
sanity?
I have been trying to, I mean, I've been trying, it's like kind of, I keep hitting walls, but I've been like interested in language learning these days. I'm trying to pick up some stuff I used to learn.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
trying to like look into, because like I studied Japanese for a while and now I'm like,
Ooh.
let's just learn it. Let's just keep going.
That's so badass.
It's fun. And then I'm interested in Mandarin too.
Oh, wow.
So
That'd be
That's
super
so
useful.
cool.
language learning. I want to be a polyglot. I have 2 down. I need 1 more.
Yeah.
So I need.
Japanese is so hard. I tried to do that for like a year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I got pretty far into it, like into the alphabet, not into like the Chinese characters and stuff, but just like
Is
the
it called kanji?
kanji, just like the
Kanji.
Japanese alphabet.
Hmm.
But then when I realized how much kanji, or how much, what is it the same word for the Chinese characters? Because they use
Yeah,
it
it's
a
just
lot.
kanji.
Okay.
So the others are like kana or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. So like the simple stuff, or like the more simple stuff that are like more like letters or whatever. But then, yeah, when you get deep into like, it's so hard to know all the different, because like in context, they could mean different things. And so I was just like, man, I'm not going to ever be able to like dedicate enough time to actually read it. So like having like conversational Japanese could be more useful.
Yeah.
But reading it, I feel like you'd have to like dedicate like 10 years to get to the point where you even like have like a 5th grade level reading
Yeah.
it.
I would love to learn that. That's so cool that you're studying that.
Yeah.
That's like the wall I hit. Like when I got to like kanji, I was like, it's too much. But now I've gotten a textbook. I'm like, we're just gonna do this. It's gonna be rote memorization. We're just gonna dedicate some time.
That's
It's like
awesome.
kind of mindless a little bit. So I mean, it's not mindless, but
Yeah.
it's requiring less energy than maybe something else.
Do you have any dreams to travel to Japan?
Yeah, that'd be maybe one day. I've been meaning to go back because I'm conversational enough. I think
cool.
that I
Oh,
can
wow,
be like,
that's awesome.
where do I go from here or whatever. But like I'm not. Yeah, I used to listen to like a lot of like Japanese pop and rock music in 7th grade. That was like my thing.
Yeah.
Like what stuff were you into?
It was a lot of like really like visual bands. It's kind of funny. I was trying to be really nostalgic and go back and check them out again. And like, they're like there's no YouTube videos anymore.
Oh, really?
Like all of it's kind of been like raised a little bit.
Weird.
And I was like, wow, something about copyright probably. Like I feel like it was probably more lax when I was in 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah. So it's kind of strange. My family, like my mom's generation lived in Japan for 2 years, so they're weirdly fluent. Like they'll still
awesome.
remember it. But we have like family still there. So I'd like to go back at some point.
Where do they live, the family? Do you know?
They live in Chiba.
Where's that again?
I'm not sure. I think it's near, or maybe it's near Tokyo. I think it's near Tokyo, or maybe it's the
Okay.
prefecture. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, we've been there many times, but I can never really remember, like obviously Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, and then where did we go? Where else did we go? Well, I know we went to Fukuoka. I'm not sure I said
Oh,
it.
cool.
Shibuya?
Shibuya? That's in Tokyo.
That's in Tokyo.
Yeah.
In Tokyo.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think that those are the only places I went to.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
we
know
guess
if
we
you-
did a
Oh,
bunch
we
of
went to
other
that like mountain festival.
stuff.
Where
Oh,
was
yeah.
that? That was
I can't
so
remember where that
cool.
was, though. That was cool.
I love Japan. I wish I could live there. If
Yeah.
it wasn't so far away from my family,
It's
I
so
would love to learn Japanese and live there.
Yeah, it's so wild because it's like it feels so safe and like not in any way, like everyone's just so like nice. I mean, like obviously there's problems in every country, but like it kind of just feels like nothing bad could ever happen to you.
Well, I feel like bad things can happen to you anywhere, but and like there's problems with every culture, but
Yeah.
like the one thing that I hate so much about American culture is this complete lack of any concept of like caring about other people and like caring about it's like just so individualistic. And like I know people have like, people in Japan can have problems with like going in the total opposite direction, but I like that. I feel comfortable.
Well, I think on the surface they're like super polite like you would like the last thing you'd ever want to do is seem impolite, I feel like. But then there's probably a lot
and
of
obviously this is not all Japanese.
obviously a
culture,
total
but
generalization of like a white person and their experience
Yeah,
in
totally.
a foreign land, you know, it's like
And
not based on
and
anything.
not understanding like a single word that
Yeah,
anyone
yeah,
was saying to us.
absolutely. That's kind of a magical thing though, that like someone could be super rude to you and be like, I don't know.
I know that's
It sounds cute. You're just like speaking Japanese to me.
I mean,
Yeah.
people who don't speak the same language, I feel like have so much more potential to understand each other than people who do speak the same language, and to
interesting.
like be like, you're a human. I'm gonna assume that you're not saying anything horrible to me,
Yeah.
unless you're like yelling at me.
Yeah.
But, like
Yeah.
when we were in Japan and like I barely spoke any Japanese at all, I'm just like, yeah, like what should we do? Like go eat some delicious food together and like laugh about things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's funny when we go on tour in Japan, like the shows are usually, they're fun, but they're kind of weird. They're not like shows in the United States where everyone's like going crazy. You know, like I know like a lot of bands are like super, super big in Japan, but we're not one of those bands. So like when we go to Japan, it just kind of feels like there's a core of people, you know, that might know the songs, but they're very shy and like reserved. So it's not like this like super enthusiastic outpouring of emotion, like at least like externally. But then like, so you play a song and it's like, no one's really dancing.
See, I personally didn't feel that way.
Oh, really?
I felt very like accepted by Japanese crowds.
Well, I think it's just because
more so than I do here.
Oh yeah, I think it's different because like Montreal has had like bigger shows and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so like
maybe it's
yeah,
just
so
kind
it
of
feels like a little bit
a
less
smaller crowd for you, but for me it's like
normal
maybe
size.
a more appreciative crowd.
Yeah, totally.
Like a little bit more appreciative of just live music in general.
Yeah,
culturally.
totally. I mean, the tickets for the shows are so expensive, so when like people
really? I
go to the
actually
show,
don't
it's
know.
like, oh, $100 for a ticket.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's maybe not that expensive, but like really expensive for like
I didn't know that.
in like a small club with like. So I think it's like harder for people to just check out a band.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, but I was gonna say
Yeah,
like
that's
that-
really interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say the highlight for me is like the hang. You know, like meeting people
Yeah.
after the show, and then like you always go to a restaurant after the show, and like, and just like spend like hours drinking beer and eating delicious food, and
But I so wish that I could actually like have known Japanese when I was there, so I could
Yeah,
actually
totally.
talk
Yeah,
to
it must
the
be so
people
cool.
I was with.
it must be so cool to actually hear Japanese and understand the words and say the
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah, I was a few years ago. I was planning on going. I mean, it was just like it was like kind of like a pipe dream a little bit. But I was like, you know what? It was kind of inspired by just like going to see a Montreal. I was like, you know what? Guitarist I liked in 7th grade has a new band. I'm gonna go check their show out. I don't know how to get a ticket. Can't read that much Japanese. Like I was
Wow.
like, I'll figure it out. But then I actually got like plagued with like a lot of anxiety about like just like things you read about like xenophobia or like that phobia there. And I was like, what if
Uh-huh.
I hate it? But I was like, no, it's okay. Everybody's
makes
different. It was a
sense,
lot of
yeah.
like self-work in my brain because especially because, you know, everybody, like so many types of people go all the time. So
Yeah.
I'm just making up something in my head a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Isn't it crazy how that works? Like your perception, or like if you have that like worm in your brain that's like
Mhm.
being like a nasty little worm and telling you something that you should feel bad about yourself because blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And so
Mhm.
like you go out and you're like, oh, but like if you didn't have that, then you would just be so just comfortable in the world. Like some people are so
Yeah.
lucky that they just don't have that they never have that feeling of like,
I mean, that's basically like what being white privilege is about, like being in the world.
well,
right? Like
well, there's
just
a lot
feeling
of
like
people.
you always belong wherever you are.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, I'm white and I have tons of anxieties
Yeah.
and insecurities.
So imagine not being white.
Yeah, it's true. But you know, the point I was trying to make is just that like, you know, it's all in your head, you know, and
It
it's
is,
like,
yeah.
so like the people who don't have that are just like so much better off than people who have it. But then at the
Yeah.
same time, the funny thing is I realized the people who don't have it are kind of the worst people. Like if you don't have any insecurities, then like,
Oh yeah, that's one thing our therapist said to me, that she was like, all the wrong people hate themselves.
oh yeah, it's true. I wouldn't want to be friends with someone that didn't hate themselves. A little bit, just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit.
You know, because if you're just like too overconfident, then it's just you can't see your own bullshit, and
Yeah.
you just think
Yeah.
you're so rad.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think
We're
I'm
trying to
so
build that
rad.
language of like, at least like if something does come at you, you can at least be like, that sounds like a them problem and not a me problem. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like at least
totally.
having the ability to not let that get you, I think
Totally.
is something to work on
Totally.
for me, for everybody.
Yeah.
A lot of times I feel like it is a me problem though too, where I'm like, I am so annoying. Like I am.
You're-
Well, I'm not saying I am, but like the feeling
Yeah.
of being like, I am an insufferable person. That's a me problem.
Yeah. Is that when you put the bag on your head and you go in the corner? Is that what you're doing?
That's me.
Yeah, okay, cool. Christina does this thing where she has this bag, this like velvet bag that she'll put on her head and like stand in the corner.
Yeah, it says dunce on it.
Oh, that's it. It says gunk.
Gunk.
Yeah. Is
But,
gunk
yeah.
actually a word in the dictionary?
Gunk?
Yeah.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah. Gunk.
I like that word.
Me too.
Gunk. Well, we're almost at the 8 o'clock mark.
Yeah, I feel like we should just play our last
Let's play
song.
our last song and say goodbye
so
to
nice to
all
talk
of
to
y'all. It's great to
Thank
see
you for talking
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Good to see all your beautiful
Love y'all.
faces. Good to see you, Michelle.
Sorry we dominated the
too.
conversation. We tend to spiral out of
Tangent.
control. Good night, lovelies. We'll play one last song.
Yeah.
Should we end
Now
this?
it's time to sing our song.
In a little while from now, if I'm not feeling any less sour, I promise myself to treat myself and visit a nearby tower. And climbing to the top, will throw myself off in an effort to make clear to whoever what it's like when you're shattered, left standing in the lurch at a church where people are saying, my God, that's tough. She stood him up. No point in us remaining. We may as well go home, as I did on my own, alone again. Naturally, to think that only yesterday I was cheerful, bright and gay, looking forward to what wouldn't do the role I was about to play. But as if to knock me down, reality came around, and without so much as a mere touch, cut me into little pieces, leaving me to doubt. Talk about God in His mercy, if He really does exist, why did He desert me in my hour of need? I truly am indeed alone again. Naturally, it seems to me that there are more hearts broken in the world that can't be mended, left unattended. What do we do? What do we do? Alone again, naturally. Now looking back over the years, whatever else that appears, I remember I cried when my father died, never wishing to hide the tears. And at 65 years old, my mother Mother, God rest her soul, couldn't understand why the only man she had ever loved